now. Hello, welcome back to the Your Everyday Strength podcast. My name is Josh Sternberg. And if you're just joining us here for the very first time, welcome. Thank you very much for being here. If you are returning, you pretty much know the drill by now. I don't need to run you through it. But if you're watching this on YouTube, which I mean, not many of you do, to be fair, you'll see we have a guest. If you're not watching this on YouTube, well, there you go. We have a guest today. Well, I'm gonna let her introduce herself in a second. She's gone mute now, which is quite funny. But this is the Sammi Morris. She goes by many different names. Angry little ant, angry little fucker.
There's worse ones, but we'll keep
There's a whole range of them. But I'll allow Sammi to introduce herself, have a, give us a bit of an update as to who she is, and then from there we'll just jump into a chat. So, take the floor.
Hi guys, I'm Sammi, as Josh would introduce me to. What can I say? I'm 38. I am born and bred Gold Coast. I am by day a concreter, so I have my own concrete company, Anchor Stonecrete. Been doing that for 18 years, company for 10, and also a hockey player. So I represented Australia and Queensland. Still currently playing. Still a little bit in me with the old legs. Love chasing little 20-year-olds. Not in that way, but it's definitely enjoyable. I represent Redcliffe in the Premier League in Brisbane. So yeah, and Josh just got me on his podcast, which is quite an honour and a privilege to be on. So thank you, Josh.
Stop it. I didn't pay her to say that, everyone. So you heard it here first.
I'll talk a little bit later.
All right. Well, so Sammi kind of briefly touched on it there, few of the different things she does. Now, the reason I wanted to get Sammi on was because, one, we've actually worked together as coach-client for, off and on for like four and a bit years or something.
Yeah, maybe too long.
It's been a long time now. Known her for a hell of a lot longer than that. But Sammi is someone who I have worked with off and on now for four and a bit years to tick off a fuck ton of goals. And I think it's really cool to see somebody who not only works hard towards like their goals from an athletics perspective, but also within their business. As she mentioned, she's a concreter. Anybody who's done manual labor, not me, will know. And I'm sure it's really fucking difficult. And it'd be a fucking pretty average job, like in terms of fatigue every single day. Couple that with then having to balance scheduling, structures, team, trying to get training in, competing. So she lives on the Gold Coast, trains up at Redcliffe, plays games up at Redcliffe, traveling around the fucking world to play hockey in Australia. And I've been fortunate enough to be a part of a hell of a lot of this journey. So for those listening at home, because you kind of only just briefly touched on it, I want you to give us a little bit of a background as to like where you started with your hockey and how that has sort of progressed through to now.
It's quite
Strap in, it's a long time.
Yeah, quite real. Let's just say I've been playing hockey since I was 13. I am 38 now, so my age a little bit. It was just random. It was actually at school. I seen hockey program. I was like, oh yeah, I want to give that a go. It was so random. I had no idea about field hockey or anything. But kind of just went into inter-school sport, played it, got in. Was actually kind of not too bad at it. I mean, quite competitive, just got to know. So, and then, yeah, kind of just enjoyed it. Well, okay, I want to actually play for a club. So I think, 13, and then I joined Labrador Hockey Club and started playing with them, which was good. And then I kind of just spiked from there, really, just gradually just got into it, mainly focused on that sport and all that. But I will say I'm probably, I think I've gotten a better player as I've gotten older. Like, what's that saying, that fine wine?
Age like fine wine.
Yeah, so I kind of, like it's funny, as you're young and all that, you put pressure on yourself. You've got all this pressure to be this and that. But yeah, I think as you got older, you mature and all that. So you just do how you work with your mindset and training and all that. Like I'm a lot more relaxed on the field, a lot more, I don't know, you just go with the flow a little bit. So, but yeah, that's how I got into hockey and I stuck with it. But it was tough. Not gonna lie, like it was such a good age group of good talent players on the defender. So I was up against some pretty good defenders like probably a disadvantage I had against one girl that we were competing for a top spot was that she was 6 foot tall and I'm a little 5'3", so her reach was a lot longer than mine. So that kind of was a little bit of an advantage. But like we just kept at it and at it until I got to a point where I'm like, I can't just see the rest. So I think I kind of stopped at 22, had about a couple of years rest, and then decided to get back into hockey. And then from there on, I just kind of just started hitting goals, just making national teams, state teams. Just yeah, just really started enjoying my hockey because I didn't put that pressure on myself that I needed to be here and here. So
When you were like before you took the break, were you still making representative teams and things like that, or was it a little bit like
no, I kind of went
competitive?
stale, too
Yeah,
competitive, went stale. It was kind of a point where you're like, well, do you pick a career or do you just keep focusing on hockey without a career? Like, really examine hockey. There's not much money in hockey. So a lot of players are just, we only get a basic fee. And then you've got to work as well full time. It's not like rugby league or AFL like these days. There's not much money in hockey unless you go play in the Europe League and all that. So I kind of made a decision, just focused on concreting, and I'm
fuck.
kind of I'm kind of glad I went there that side because now I have quite access to business. Put my heels down and just dug deep, and then got myself set up now, which is good. But but then since coming back into hockey, like just kept getting back into rep teams and national teams and Australian sides because you just have that different mindset. There's no pressure on you, so you start enjoying hockey.
We'll touch on like the work side of things in a second a little bit more because I do want to dive a little bit deeper into that because it is very common, and I'm sure you see it a lot with a lot of the younger girls that you train with and play with and things like that, that like people tend to think their circumstances control their ability instead of like taking control of their circumstances and changing their ability. So you've mentioned that like once you went back to hockey, you went in with a bit of a fresh mindset, a little bit more mature
Yep.
as you do when you age, right? Frontal lobe starts to develop a little bit
Yeah,
easier,
yeah, yeah.
all that.
Oh, carefree factor.
Exactly. But what was it that like pulled you back into it? Because I know statistically a lot of females do stop sport around that 16, 17 because the pathways are quite limited, especially within Australia. Less so now that we have started to see the rise of your NRLW, AFLW, and these pathways are getting a lot better. I think it's either this year or next, might be next year, where there's going to be the first group of girls who have been able to play AFL the whole way through,
You're right.
from juniors all the way up until the A grade.
Yeah.
Because currently there's no one playing AFLW who's been able to play through that because they have to stop at 15
Yeah,
because they're not allowed to
right.
play against the boys anymore, and there wasn't a female side.
There you
So
go.
it's the next couple of years where we should start to see
So it'd be good to see the development of women's AFL
100%.
and what they can perform. So
Exactly. And with that for you, like going back to hockey, you've said you've ticked off a whole bunch of things. I think you're underselling it a little bit. I want us to go deeper into your achievements because like they're fucking crazy, even since I've just been involved. Tell us like about that. Like tell us about the teams you have made, like what you think has set you apart because you see the girls from young ages like 17, 18,
oh, even
etc.
16
And
now these days. We've got girls in A grade at 16. Oh my god, that's I don't know where their mindset is there, but
yeah,
it's pretty different.
give us an insight into that.
I think like I remember that I just got kind of broken. So back then you probably can't do it now, but we're going back. So when I was about 20, 21, it was tough. There was one squad of 21 nationals team. Now it was a team of 16, where now these days you can have a team of like a squad of 24 and all that. But back in my day, we were brutal. We got told you were too fat, too slow, not hitting these targets and all that. And we were told frontally straight to the face. Like you kind of can't do that now these days. But it was a very tough era for us girls where we were just told straight up, look, you're not good enough, you're not going to make it. But there's another chance that you can go play for another state, teams that are weaker. So I kind of said, all right, then cool. I just got tired. I was in the squad, but just wasn't, I had another girl just fitting in that position. So I was like, well, still want to keep playing. They said, you're still good enough to play at top level. So based on that, I went and got drafted to Northern Territory Pearls, they call back there. Struggling little team, not a lot of hockey players up there. So a lot of us Queenslanders just go and play for Northern Territory. It was the best move I ever did because it was playing with a new group. Wasn't as much pressure on yourself, but you could just really excitement. So I ended up playing 21 nationals with them. And then I went on to carry on and play the AHL, which is Australian Hockey League, which is the top tier league in Australia. I think they call it Hockey One now. So I played 2 years for them, and then I was just kind of at a breaking point where I knew that's when I had the break. So, but yeah, from then I had a break, and then from then when I came back, what drew me back was I missed the team, just being around a team and all that. It's team sports, environment, being competitive and stuff. I'm like, well, what am I doing with myself right now? Like, I enjoy playing hockey, and I know I still had that little burner in me, and I knew I could still give more to the sport. I just needed to change the mindset and change a few things that I needed to do. So I got back into the Brisbane League and stuff, started playing really good hockey and all that, and coming into it then, Australian Hockey Fives was introduced, which is probably the first time. So Hockey Fives is the smaller version of field hockey where you play along boards. So the field is, pretty sure it's 25 metres wide by 40 long, and there's literally 4 players and a goalkeeper. And this game doesn't stop. Like, you are boom, boom, boom. It is fast, quick, and just to a point where you're like, holy shit, like, you can't hide on the field because there's only 4 of you. And the goal is obviously the score, but you can shoot anywhere. So that was such a big high rep, and I got to be a cap player in that. We went to Oman, which is just outside of Dubai. Played there. Also got to captain the Australian side, which was quite an honour and a privilege to captain the first Australian Hockey Fives team. That was such an eye opener just to see what the FIH had to offer, and being in a World Cup stadium surrounded by that. So we didn't do as well. We got 11th, but to be our first team to go on there, I think it was unreal. The Dutchies won standard because they are, I can't take a gold medal off them. They're just so good, brilliant. But to represent Australia in that and be a cap player was, yeah, such an honour really to do that and to captain the team. And I was literally 36 years old, so quite old, quite old for a hockey player. But yeah, stuck it to it, so that's a privilege. And then I think from there on, I've also made, obviously, I'm in the Masters era, the 34s Masters. So being away last year, was away with the World Cup there to South Africa. Unfortunately, lost our bronze medal match to England. We didn't come away with anything, but play that World Cup for Masters was another high standard and honour. As well as representing Queensland as well for the Masters, captaining them. We recently just went away to Tasmania and we won that gold. With our gold back before we lost and got silver. Wasn't happy with that. Can't end it on that. So, and then exciting news, I'm off to Holland next year in July, Rotherham, to represent Australia again in the World Cup. To bring home a gold medal. So,
yeah, that's a fucking big board of accolades.
A little bit. And as I said to Josh, like everything that I've achieved, I've done it as I've gotten older. I've achieved more than what I did being young and all that. So this thing is age is just a number. Like, doesn't matter how old you are, you can still be representing at a high level. It doesn't matter what age. Like I said, I probably have hit peak, I reckon, from about 32 to currently still now. And that's injury free. Yeah, which I'm probably blessed. I've had no injuries, nothing minor, just obviously a little bit of muscle soreness, but no, I've never had, as you would know, no major injuries or anything.
Must have a good strength coach.
Yeah, trust me.
No, but on that, right? Like you've mentioned that as you've come back a little bit more mature, both probably emotionally, mentally, physically, etc. You've come to it from a few different avenues. Like, you obviously run quite a successful concreting company, so you've had to learn to deal with a hell of a lot of people who range in, let's say, brain capacities. Would be nice. So
I can really lash out and just say, but I'm not going to.
Yeah. So you've learned how to deal with that on top of, I saw a massive shift in you. And I think I saw one of the biggest shifts in you when it came to competing, playing, etc. When you started changing your mindset from like how I'm performing, how I'm doing, how I like you to, or it's the team. I got to help bring up the girls. Like, I need to help them get fitter. I want to help them get fast. I'm teaching them how to, get around me so that when they're going against the defenders in the other team, now they have a bit more of an understanding of like, okay, cool. Well, this is maybe what this person's going to do. So it's like, you're not just there for you. You're helping drive that core foundation of the team. And I believe, like, the culture aspect of any team sport, as anyone will know, a culture can make or break a team.
100%.
If you've got a shit culture, your team's probably going to be pretty fucking shit. If you've got a great culture, like we can see it in any professional sport. Some of the teams that have the best culture outside of the sport are the ones that do the best on the field.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, and especially, you've mentioned like coaches have asked you to come and help with the training. And for those who don't know, Sammy actually retired last year. It
We'll
was
get
the
into that in a little while.
shortest retirement in history. We will get into that because there's definitely a bigger story there. But it was the shortest retirement in history. And I remember Sammy coming to me and being like, "Oh yeah, but I'm still gonna like help out the girls, and I'm gonna go up to Redcliffe, and I'm gonna like
Let's just say I
help
wasn't a
them."
very good sideline bench person sitting on there. I was pretty like, fuck it, give me what I'm going on.
Where was the perfect ending? She was in her grand final. She was playing
Oh,
her 200th senior game. They won. She was the captain. It was like the fairy tale Disney ending. You go out, and then she's like, "Oh yeah, actually, I'm gonna go back and play."
yeah,
And
that's
I was
pretty
just
what it
like,
was.
"Cool. I
Keep
love this."
everyone on their toes. Fuck it,
Of course.
Like, yeah.
And there's definitely a story to there, which we'll get into in a
Yeah.
moment. But like, even including like the business aspect of things and your work, how have you seen, even from your own perspective, if you've acknowledged that or you haven't, how have you seen that mindset shift from changing about, because I know you still care about your own performance and you're the first person to criticize yourself and want to do the best you can, which I think is admirable from anyone who wants to achieve anything to a high standard. But how have you noticed even the shift within yourself to change your focus from you to that of the team? And that's like kept you going.
I think it's also like seeing the generation come through now. Like you can see, like I want to be clear, they're mentally not as tough as what we were. So, and I just look at some and I see a little bit of me back the days like when I was 18, 16 or whatever like that. So I just want to pretty much like look and go like, I want to give you my experience and my knowledge, what I have, and give it to them and pass it on. Like it's something like you made a mistake in the field. Don't dwell on it and don't cry about it. Move on. Who cares? Everyone makes a mistake in the field. Let's carry on. Or if there's just little things going on around the outside world and stuff like that, it's just pretty much just giving them what I kind of have in my head, my mindset to help them and encourage them and give them another little bit of perspective of life and all that. So let them see from a different angle in the picture. Like I wish I had my mindset now on my little 18-year-old body because it would be, wow, you'd be a freak of a nature of a player. But unfortunately you don't get that. As you mature, that's when you get, you know, like better. So I guess it for me is giving my knowledge, my experience and passing it down to the younger generation, like hockey players and stuff, and just, giving them another, think about something different, really. So, and I think that's what it's helped me as well because then I can learn off them on certain things, like certain things, how they play and perform and all. I mean, they keep you on your toes. You're not chasing around 20-year-old, 18-year-old. You hit peak, like you want to do that, you want to beat them and all that. So they actually give another lift of energy for you as well. So that's why I love playing with the young girls and stuff like that because they'd also pick you up as well. But in saying that, they look up to you too because they need that experience, that maturity on the field, that leadership. I guess I give very good leadership on the field, but I've also got a lot of respect from them as well because I can pull them in line when I need to, but also have some fun with them as well. So I guess going on, that's what I can give to them is guide them and give them the best out of them, really.
Yeah.
So physically they're great,
Yeah.
but it's like the mental side.
The other
like,
side of things. And you know yourself, like you've covered it in this already, that they will start to grow and develop through that. And I think that that's like, for me, very similar in my mindset with the way I approach working with a lot of the younger guys I work with is like, who did I need when I was their age? How can I help them to maybe not make the same mistakes I did, knowing they're going to need to make mistakes
Yeah, to
because they
learn.
need to learn.
Yeah, 100%.
But if you can help them lessen the
Yeah.
damage from those mistakes, or you can even help offer a different perspective or a different lens to look through,
Yeah.
I think that for me has been one of the most like fulfilling
Yeah.
things whilst working with a lot of younger people. And seeing that shift obviously from you, like I've known you for quite a while, and as you've said, like they've kept you physically fucking on your toes,
Yeah, 100%.
maybe a little bit mentally on your toes
Oh,
too.
yeah.
when you're
Oh, yeah, I
around
don't know
those
some of the
ages.
chit chat later. I'm like, sorry, what? This, I don't know. But anyway, it keeps you young.
It's good. And within your team in themselves, how much of an impact do you think that has had on them, but then also on you as like, because you work within quite successful teams, and similar to what I was saying before with relation to culture, like it's no surprise that the successful teams are the ones that have a good culture. It seems to be that every team you work within, they do quite well. And it probably comes from a whole range of different aspects. You probably just have a fucking great team as well. I've seen them play. They're free.
We have some pretty good nature girls, but on that, I'm big about, and this is probably the way how I captain. It's not about me; it's about them. And I don't care who you are, what achievements you've got. And I've said it to the girls, I don't care that you're that, that, and that. When we come together in a team, we're all one. We're all one, and that's it. We're all even and equal. We all throw a little bit of our own little spice into the team. I'm big about getting all the girls together. And I've done it in national teams and Australian teams. Like, I don't like little group, little posse little group where I've also, and that's what coaches notice, that you just bring everyone in together. Like, I want to know everyone. I want to get to know everyone. Not get in their face and stuff, sweet benefit, but it's also like we're all one team.
Yep.
There's not little groups and all that, which can happen in, the younger groups. They're all little groups. They just don't want to be with other people. Where I'm like, no, fuck that. I'm not doing that. We're all one. We'll get in and have some fun. And then it makes a massive difference. Like we did that with our Redcliffe girls. Like our culture is huge. We all get along, regardless of our age and what we do. Like we're all friends off the field and on the field, and you can see it. So, and like I said, it's culture. But when I do it, you bring everyone in together. There's none of this, oh no, I'm not talking that, but none of that crap.
Yeah.
And I think that's massive. I mean, if you're a captain, then you focus on your team. It's about the team, and then you lead by example on and off the field. So, I think that's what I can bring to a team. It's just like we're all one. We're all in this together. So support each other, get around each other, and
Yeah, I fucking love that because it's like the clicks. Like you remove that clicky nature and you allow them to gel together because I've seen it myself playing in team sports, playing solo sports. Like the biggest difference I've noticed from playing within a team sport is that camaraderie, is that team aspect. It's like you go and play a sport like that because you want to do well together.
Yeah.
If you want to do well solo, there's plenty of
Different
sports.
teams, different laws.
There you go. Lord balls, fucking oath.
Yeah. We'll see.
10 years.
Yeah.
We'll see. We never know these days. But with that, like from your work-based aspect, because we haven't really covered too much about that, you've mentioned that when you did stop playing, it was to build a business. How much of your success within business do you attribute to potentially as an aspect of sport? And then how much of your success when going back to hockey do you attribute to actually having the business?
So obviously, here's a bit of a touch about like being a male dominant industry concrete, not many female concreters around, let alone anyone that owns a business. So as I said, it's still fresh and all that. It was fucking hard. Like it broke me. But there was like said something in me that said, no, fuck this, I'm gonna prove everyone wrong. 2 years of hell it was. Like it was like harassed, you're not good enough, you'll never make it, blah 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 blah. But don't get me wrong, like females were not built like a male. There's certain things we can't lift and do and all that stuff, but there's a fuck a lot of other shit we can do as well. So, like, got under a bit. I was working away a bit. That's when I started my comedy went away. I had one guy just giving it to me, and he almost broke me until I clipped him across the chin and the pop in front of everyone. Then he just realised. But it was just sticking to it. So I think having the determination, proving people wrong, and saying to myself, "Don't fucking give up. You can do this. Fuck everyone. Like, break that fucking chain." Like, more like that girl power and all that. But it was just something I wanted to do, and I knew I could do it. When someone tells you you're not good enough, you can't do it. That gets me far in the belly. And it's like, "Fuck you. Watch this." So, and I'm a very big motto of mine is silence is golden. Keep it quiet, keep it humble, just keep doing what you're doing, and then that's how you can do it. So quite brutal and all that. Obviously worked through it with a career and all that, got better skills and all that, and then I just started getting respect from everyone, the boys and stuff, saying, and I just stuck to it really, just stuck to it, concreting, the work ethic I had, the discipline as well, and that's when it came into hockey as well. Like I've done the hard yoke and now it's like, well, you put that discipline into your training and all that and what I needed to do. And I knew I needed a coach to help me, for strength and conditioning and just nutrition and all that. So that's when I started going, oh, okay, like obviously meeting you and another trainers before that. But yeah, I think bringing work into hockey taught me about discipline and pretty much strive. Just keep going. You'll be surprised what you can achieve.
Yeah.
So
with that, like you and concreting probably the most male dominated.
Oh, it is. It still is.
Like aspect I could think of out of any of the trades. You see a lot more nowadays of like female electricians and mechanics and all the rest of it. Yeah. Which I think is really fucking cool. I think there's a lot more of that going around. what for you, like, what would you say if there was somebody listening to this, if there was a young girl who was
Yeah.
listening to this and they were like, fuck, I maybe want to go and do that, but they are quite worried about the harassment side of things,
Mm.
the fucking getting talked down on, the thick, like
Yeah.
needing to develop a thick skin pretty
You've got to
quick.
have a thick skin, let everyone long thick skin. But I think a lot of boys now, these guys have respect. They like to see girls in there they want it. I mean, there's one other female concreter I know. Shout out to Jess if she does listen. She's unreal, phenomenal. She's a great concreter. But like, if you would just be aware to have thick skin, but like, fuck it, the boys these days, like, they love it. They want to see more women on it. But like, just give it back, dish it back, but just get in there and rip in. Like, it is a very physical job, so be prepared. Like, just be prepared. It's not easy with the heat and conditions, but I think now, being in for 18 years, I think it's a lot easier now for them to get into concrete because men aren't as bad. They're like, fuck yeah, more girls and all that stuff. So, yeah, go back 18 years ago, it was like, you never saw any tradie girl. I don't think I even knew any tradie girls by then. So, but yeah, the girls are going to come and do it. Give it a go. See how you go. Why not? There's good money to be made, but be prepared to work your ass off, but it's rewarding.
What was it about concreting that pulled you towards that of all trades, of all things?
Um, well, this is funny. So I obviously was a lifeguard. I was like, stuff this, people are fucking annoying. Like, there's no common sense. Sorry, guys, but there isn't sometimes. And then got into landscaping, which is just a feeling. But I actually wanted to be a sparky. But then I saw go to tape and all that. I was like, oh, I'm not doing that crap. And then I randomly saw concreters, and I was like, they're having fun and all that. I was like, well, that's kind of fun. I was like, they're in the sun, and then they're knocked off by 1 o'clock. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So I kind of just got into that. I just had seen it and randomly just got into it. But it was never on my radar on the list. So it was a random thing. But like, to this day, I never thought I would own a successful concrete business. It was never in my plan or whatever. Like, it's just funny how things just fall into place.
It was always funny, like, as everything with life, and I've spoken about it heaps on this podcast, like everything works out exactly as it's meant to. You don't always know the path forward, but you
Yeah.
know if you just keep pushing, it will,
Yeah.
something good things will happen. As you've grown, developed, and you've got this mindset, like there's a reoccurring theme with hockey, with your work, with all of that, of like, just fucking keep going,
Yeah.
like almost eat the shit a little bit and keep pushing
Yeah.
forward. That's a mindset that not a lot of people have. They don't have the ability to keep doing. They kind of get
No.
weighed down in a lot of their
Oh,
things.
they fail, they get a setback, and then that's it. I mean, like, it's people that don't last long in the business. If you've got a business, you've got to stick in it for 2 years, and that's losing a lot of money go out instead of coming in. But you just got to stick to it, and that's, like I said, it's a mindset. Get knocked back bloody 10 steps, and you just go, all right, cool. Well, just keep tracking along. Like, it's a mindset. You've got to be mentally tough for it. And as you know, you're a business, like,
Hmm.
I'm gonna have good days, you can have bad days and all that, but it's just like, well, okay, it's one bad day, let's move forward. But it's that, yeah, that mindset was like, no, fuck this, just keep going, you'll be right. And then that's taking me into hockey as well, like,
Yeah. It's carried across all of your different things that you've
mm,
actually been doing and then has allowed you to become
yeah,
successful. It's fucking cool to, like, again, I've seen you grow for, like, we've known each other for a fucking very long time now.
I just think, well,
I was
you
very much
know,
so. I was a little lost little
yeah, you
fucking
were.
little child, you could call it.
Yeah, you were.
But that mindset, like to actually develop the ability to do that, like that perseverance, that resiliency to keep continuing on, is it something that you always had from a very young age, or is it just something that you've developed as you went on?
That's actually a good question, Josh. Actually, I don't know. I think I've just hate being told that you're not good enough for someone to do. And I did get told that by one concrete by a boss. You're not good enough. You'll never make it. And I think that was the switch then. It was like, and that it broke me mentally. Like, um, I still it's really fresh too. And I just, yeah, I got told that, and that hurt really. But yeah, I think it's just as you've gotten, I think gotten older and all that. But I would have had that as a young age too. Like, when I was 6, I lost my dad at a very young age too. So I've had to deal with that. And I think I dealt with that through sport, starting sport at an early age, and just pushing all that trauma and emotion and down stuff. But it was also the, can I do better? I always had the attitude, can I do better? What can I do better? I want to do good. I don't want to disappoint anyone. So, especially myself. So it was a willing, like, keep going, you can do better. I think it's just yeah, I think I honestly think it's just as I've gotten older, just dealing with what's you're being thrown at you and all that, you tend to process it and then mature with it and then just, yeah, think of it in a different way. If that
Yeah.
makes sense.
100%. Yeah, I think it does. I think that offers a really good insight to a lot of people because, as I said, like there's a lot of people who do, you get that one setback, you get that one thing, and it's the end of the world. And don't get me wrong, I can sympathize with people because everybody's experiences are so different. Like you usually losing your dad at such a young age. A lot of people, like myself, I'm very fortunate. Both my parents are still here. I haven't had to deal with that yet. I've had a lot of other aspects of things happen. But for me, I couldn't empathize with that because I don't know what it feels like.
Yeah.
But to then come out of it from the over the other side and utilize things in a positive way, because it's probably very easy to go down a different path, no matter what might
Yeah.
happen to somebody. Using that, we're going to lead into the retirement and the not the retirement non-retirement
Yeah.
and a little bit of the reason why behind
Yeah.
it, and then a little bit of that journey through there as well. So I'll let you explain.
Oh, okay. Well, touching base, obviously, I lost my dad at age 39, which is very young. So you think about that's pretty much my age. I had found my dad, which was something as a 6-year-old kid you don't want to see. So, but in saying that, like, obviously, I'm half Dutch, got family in Holland. My dad was a Dutchie. We have in my dad's side of the family, there is a disease, it's got to do with the heart with an enlarged aorta. So pretty much my dad had passed away, his sister had passed away. So it had kind of had skipped generations. There's 4 of them. 2 of them had passed away and 2 of them are still alive in Holland. So it came down to this genetic disease that we didn't really know much about. Like they're still trying to figure out what type of disease it. But all I can tell you is it's a disease of an enlarged aorta. So what happened to my dad is that he obviously his aorta was quite large and it had popped off his heart. So there's no warning signs of a heart attack or anything. My dad just had a collapse and unfortunately he had passed away. So which leads us to my older sister and myself. We obviously come down 50-50 if we have this genetic disease. So about when we were 18, we got tested and checked all the ECG, whatever ECGs and stuff like that. And I think MRI, was it MRI? MRIs?
MRI.
MRIs, that's it. Got all checked and we were fine. Like 18, we're like, sweet, cool, awesome. So, and then that's the big thing about health is like, no one's invincible. Like, just get checked regardless how fit you are and healthy you are. Obviously, just time gone by and this was quite random. So it was about, when did I get checked? 3, 4 years ago?
Would have been around there, yeah.
Maybe 3, 4 years ago, I got my eyes tested. I thought, "Oh, I better go get my eyes tested to see if my glasses can go stronger. I'm getting older." And this guy, optometrist, was brilliant. I'll give it to him. And he tested my eyes and stuff like that. And he picked up and goes, "Oh, you're showing a little bit of high cholesterol in your eyes. Like the eyes can pick up everything on health."
Mm.
And I was like, he goes, "How's your eating and all that?" I said, "Well, clearly I don't eat a lot of fatty, shitty food." I said, "Oh," I was like, "Fine." He's like, "Well, you might just want to get a blood test just to see where your cholesterol level's at." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And that kind of sparked the where I was like, you know what? I haven't been tested on my heart since I was 18. I'm like, I'm 30, what, 5 or something like that. So I was like, oh, fuck, I better get tested. So a couple of girls in my hockey team work in St Andrews Hospital in Brisbane, all in the heart clinic and all that. So I got all the paperwork off mum from dad's history, etc., and thought, well, I better go get tested, get a MRI and ECG and all that, and get tested. And that was probably the biggest, scariest news I got. I remember walking into the cardiologist and she was just, you could tell it was grim. It wasn't good. After reading all the dad's history and stuff like that, I knew straight away, I'm like, this isn't good. So unfortunately, I had a large aorta, which is not common for my size. So it was sitting around the, I think, 42 millimeters, which is quite scary. So you think about it, think of a hose with a bubble in it. That's what I had, my aorta. That's what was showing up on the scans. So that instantly thought everything was on hold. Hockey, everything, my health, life. I didn't know what the next step was. It was scary. And I was on my own too. I did all these appointments on my own, which my sister's like, you're a fucking idiot. Why didn't you take us? Or something like that. So got that news, got referred to my surgeon, Dr. Douglas Wall. But in the meantime, I got all tested for Marfan and all that disease, see if anything was it, to work out the genetics and what was going on. But in that meantime, it was hard because I had 2 World Cups coming up. So I had to have a very serious conversation with my surgeon and what I could do. Because at this moment when you get told you're going to need open heart surgery and blah, 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 otherwise, you're pretty much a ticking time bomb you are. But I was like, well, I still got hockey to play. Stubborn me was like, some of me was like, I got hockey. I got 2 World Cups to play. And he just looked at me like, you do realize that if you can easily just collapse. We can't bring you back. There's no CPR. There's no nothing. You will just collapse and you're dead. And it was a risk I was willing to take. And he was like, you know what, you're okay. We weren't ready to operate on you yet. But if you need to get through the World Cups, we'll support it, but just be aware of the consequences. But also in saying that, I also had no signs of anything with a large aorta. Also had a very bad leaking valve, aortic valve. So my little leaflets were like wet tissue paper. So I was letting a lot of blood in my heart. So my heart was quite bigger than normal. So it was working overtime to pump the blood that was letting back in out. And that's what he said. Yeah, they were more concerned on that than the aorta as well. Because he said you were pretty much a walking time bomb and you could go into cardiac arrest. And that's hard to bring your heart back from that because it's just overuse. It's just worked too hard. So that's what he said, like, for you not to have any short of breath or anything like that, and for you just to go get checked, you've saved yourself a life. Because he goes, well, you'd probably be dead like your dad at 39. So it was only just by chance that I just done that. So that was a realization. I was like, fuck this, people just get checked. Doesn't matter how old you are. Otherwise, I would have just kept doing what I'm doing. And yeah, I would not probably be here next year. So, but we'd saying that. So obviously we got through the 2 years confident. And then every 6 months I was getting checked. It obviously then increased slightly to a point where I said, like, that's it. You need to get surgery done this year. So, and that's hence why the kind of the retirement we bring in. I hadn't really told many people. Obviously, Josh had known, my coach and managers had known, certain people had known. He wanted the girls on the team. So they were a bit like, oh, you're retiring. Why are you retiring? Blah, blah, blah. So, like I said, to end it on 200 Division 1 games and to win Brisbane Premier League Grand Final, which took 92 years. Our club's never won it. So 92 years, we finally won it. And Brisbane is one of the hardest comps to win. Like, it's not an easy competition. I've been in the comp for like 8, 9 years. And to finally win one was like, wow. So that was amazing. Josh was there to watch and all that, celebrate, and all that, going retirement and all that. And then obviously I had surgery on June 3rd, busted right open, ripped right open, sternum done, sternum sawed in half, coped open, got a brand new aorta, which looked like a car part, and also got a mechanical valve. So in a quiet room, you can hear me tick. So that's, yeah, so I'm alive when I start ticking. But with that comes I'm on warfarin for the rest of my life, which is like dinner. But to be honest, I just get my doses and blood test once a week to get checked. But since having it, I don't feel anything. I feel great. I just have a nice scar to remind myself of it. Just to say heart surgery it's quite painful, especially the sternum bit, and then trying to keep me still. That's the next step was I just couldn't sit still. I wanted to start doing stuff. But that's when I came to Josh and went, hey, Josh, Nationals is in September. You reckon I'll be ready? I need to get ready. And that was 15 weeks post-op that I wanted to play Nationals. So poor Josh had the task of, hey, Josh, guess what? Start running, we start lifting. So yeah, I'll let you carry on for this one. Josh didn't have Josh just had to do it.
So my favorite thing about Sammi as a client is it's a collaboration. Sammi talks and I listen, and then I suggest, and Sammy's like, no, we're going to do this. And I'm like, okay, cool, we're going to do that. But it always comes from the point of, I've been fortunate enough to know her for so long, and you can probably pick up from this podcast alone, her ability to persevere, like the resilience, the determination is something that I've not really seen in many people. So when she first actually came to me and was like, I want to do nationals, it's 15 weeks post-op. For most people who don't know, the recovery before you're even able to do anything physical is like 12 weeks post-op. Now, I think we were back in
6 to 12 months of sternum fully healed.
Correct. And we were back in the gym within 8 weeks.
Week 6,
6 weeks, 6 weeks, yes.
Slowly gym, and then I got permission to slowly start running. It's just week 6 after post-surgery, which Josh was like, holy shit.
Correct.
And this is when I needed Josh the most to guide me, because
we were jumping in, we were basically running through and this is something I hadn't dealt with personally myself as a coach before, but it was something that I knew if there was any client who I could do it with, it would be Sammi, and we would work collaboratively. We worked with her surgeon, we worked with the specialist, we worked with the physio from the hospital. We all worked together to ensure that everything was being ticked, all the boxes were green lit, There was nothing or like, there was not a single time where I was like, go do this. Let's just see where it was going to cause any form of risk. And I think that that's a really big, important thing for a lot of people to understand is like all of this stuff has some form of inherent risk. But I can honestly attest to the fact that due to how fit, strong, capable Sammi has been, and because she's looked after herself for 35 years of her life, that is what allowed her to actually come back within that time frame. And I know that when she was speaking to her physios and even the specialists, and they were all just like, fuck, you're like back. She was doing cardio testing and all the rest of it. And the physio was just like, oh no, you're actually like good to go. The only thing that's going to potentially be a little bit of an issue is like pain from the sternum itself while it still heals. But from a cardiovascular perspective, like you're actually pretty okay and good to go. And that was all we kind of needed to be like,
Okay.
cool. And she jumps on the phone and I was like, all right, we're going to start slow. And then she calls me back again. She's like, okay, cool. So I did double that. And I'm like, all right, cool. So you're going to go to hockey this week, but you're just going to do light skills. Oh no, I did a full session. And I'm like, cool, okay. And we just kept checking back in with her, with the specialist, with all of it the whole time. We were in contact with like everyone to ensure that where we were at was okay to be. And before you know it, she's fucking on a plane going to
Well, yeah.
nationals.
Well, week 8 was my first. No, week 10 was actually my first hockey game back in Premier League, and everyone was shocked to see me. So, but yeah, and then 15 weeks I was on my plane to Tassie, Hobart, captain the Queensland team to play. That was kind of my God, kind of big tournament, which I was nervous. Like, I was never I didn't feel confident going into it because I'm like, oh my God, I don't feel game fit or whatever. But as the games went on, I just backed myself really. But it was never this. I never was like, oh, we're scared of each sternum. I was never once scared of a sternum. It was just, can I still play? That was the doubt I had. But I got through it with Josh. I think being in the hands of Josh, like you, just helping me and guiding me, keeping me grounded was what got me through. So I probably would have had busted sternum.
It's hard. Like it's always one of those things, especially as a coach. You want to do what's best for your client. You want to make sure that they're in the healthiest position they possibly can be when you're navigating something that is genuinely unknown. And like it was unknown for the specialists to a degree because they were kind of like, well, we don't really had someone. Normally the people who come through for this surgery are like
Well,
older, unfit,
70, 80
unhealthy.
year
Like
olds, yeah.
they're not in a same position that you were in to be able to do so. And I know for a fact that that absolutely had a massive part to play with like your recoverability. But not only that is just the boxes that you were ticking, like you were across everything. You were making sure you were eating appropriately. You were making sure that supplements you were taking were A, approved and you were able to take them. They weren't like, because now you have the influence of the warfarin from blood thinners. Anybody who doesn't know about like warfarin or blood thinners in general, the stuff you can't take or like do is through the fucking roof. It is it's a massive process to navigate it all. And everything has to be ticked and flicked by the specialist to ensure that like what's being had is safe.
For example, warfarin, you can't have too much vitamin K, which is all your leafy greens and stuff. Also to a point where I can't have any Nurofen. I can't even put deep heat on myself. Even having beetroot juice or anything like that, you'd be surprised. Warfarin is probably the hardest thing to dose because it's your iron levels. But like I said to Josh, like it's certain supplements can't take it. I take a certain magnesium, it's got nothing else in it. To a point where, yeah, it's just it's not easy.
It's not easy, but it makes it worth it because like I know that you were obviously nervous when you were going back to play and trying to juggle the mindset of like I knew that you were never worried about your sternum, which was the weirdest thing. And you were always so just like, oh, what if I'm not good enough for the team now? What if I can't play to the standard I used to play? Forgetting the fact that I think you're, and we've already covered it here, like the biggest asset you bring to that team is you. Whether you could play physically or like just be there, like the biggest asset is you, your mindset, your mentality, your ability to actually see the game through the lens of someone who's played it for fucking so many years.
Yep.
And that in combination with then being able to run around with the girls physically and get around them and be around that team and all of that, like just checking in with you the entire time you were down there. You were still so hard on yourself. You're like, oh, but we've made it through. Oh, we've done this, but I didn't. And I'm like, no. Just
Yeah.
15 weeks ago, this wasn't a possibility. Like we were not, this was something that was like, there was a whole different stress because you were going in for open heart surgery.
Yeah, I guess I don't even my partner says, like, I don't even think what I went through, really. I just think whatever. It's just, yeah, whatever. Like I said, it's just, what can I do for the team? I'm like, if I wanted to support the team, I just said, nailed it. I didn't really care about anything or that. And you're like, dude, hello? And so someone says, like, you just had open heart surgery, which is one of the major operations you can have. I don't see it like that. So, which is weird. So it's also, yeah.
It's a testament to your mindset for one. And it's also, again, I think a big contributing factor as to why you got back to where you got back to so quickly. And I know that, like, as any coach will know, as anybody who's worked with teams, sports, whatever, sometimes the hardest thing to juggle is not actually the physical aspect. Physically, Sammi was fine, ticking boxes, running, doing the thing. But she was fucking still fitter than the majority of the people. The biggest thing that I was helping with leading into it was trying to remind her of where she'd come from, the journey she's been through. Turning up is a fucking achievement in itself, let alone being able to play and represent the country again. Queensland again. And all of these other things. Like, my biggest role throughout that period was not to check in and see how she was physically, but to check in and just be like, cool, how you guys going? How are you tracking? Like, how are you feeling? And that any coach out there who doesn't do those things, A, you're doing a massive disservice to people, but B, you'll find that, like, you'll make more progress with that than you will the physical stuff. Sammy's very physically fucking capable. She was back working way quicker than she should have
Yeah, don't
been.
tell my surgeon that.
She was fucking back on. I remember her coming in. She's like, "Oh yeah, I did a bit of work yesterday. I'm a bit sore." And I was like,
my poor brother-in-law and sister. Jeez, girls, I put them through that.
they loved it.
Yeah, oh, they're really cool. But as you'll say, it was the mental side of it. Because don't get me wrong, like, it wasn't all fucking rainbows and days and stuff. Like, it was the days where it was dark and it was hard. Like, I was in pain. I was like, I'm never going to get back to normal. Like, not sleeping properly. I couldn't do anything. Like, you imagine having your sternum. Like, you just can't do anything. You're uncomfortable. You're sore. You know, no one can touch you. Yeah, I was mental side. I'm like, am I going to get through this? Like that. Sometimes I had in my mind, I don't know if I can do this. Am I going to get through this? But being with Josh and getting grounded by the right people around you too and checking in on you can make a massive difference. Because then you can go, this is how I'm feeling. And then the advice I can get from you, like, you know, stop being so hard on yourself. Like, you're week 3 out of surgery. Of course, you're going to be sore and all of this. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it's it was definitely, hard. But like I said, be surrounded by the right people and your little crew, your vibe, and having a strength coach like yourself that was just there to ground me and just say, hey, you've been here, you're going to get here again. Like, you know, and Josh kept reminding me, I'm like, oh, I lost my muscle, I'm never going to be. He's like, muscle memory is quick. And you know what? He was right. Within, I reckon, God, 2 or 3 weeks, that muscle memory just started kicking in.
Yeah, you bounce back really quickly.
Yeah,
And
except for the running bit was hard.
right.
I remember one time and I was like, oh my God. But then, like I said, my lungs had been deflated in surgery and all. But now I'm like, good, I'm sweet now. But it was being grounded by you, Josh, and just telling me it's okay. Like, trusting the person in front of you, trusting your coach and all that. That was what got me through it. I can't thank you enough for that, I don't think. Much as I got angry at him, like, oh, Roger. It was Josh going, calm down, little pipsqueak.
Yeah.
You will get through it. Just trust the process. I think that's the biggest thing.
100%. And it's very, like, don't get me wrong. Anybody who goes through anything like that, any form of adversity, anything, I can understand it is very hard to trust the process sometimes. It's hard when you're in the thick of it to realize there is a way out of it. And correcting what you were saying, like, having a good network around you, having a good team of people. You were very fortunate. You had Corinne come up, you had your sister, you had your brother-in-law, like, we were dropping in, like, there was always somebody there with you, helping out where you needed to be and all the rest of it. And I'm sure you having that helped. And I'm sure having just that little bit of extra assistance in a day definitely helped to get through the process. And it's the determination from fucking years of just being like, nah, fuck this, I'm going to do it. Because I know there was so many people being like, oh, I don't know, I don't think you're going to get back. And you were kind of just like, no, I'm going back. I'm going to do it. I want to go and play in Holland. It was never like, it wasn't even national. It wasn't even the nationals. It was, oh no, I want to go and play at Worlds next year in Holland. That was it.
Fun of my family.
It wasn't, it had nothing to do with NASA. It was just like, no, I'm going to play in Holland. And that's basically it. And I was like, oh, well, let's get through the first comp first, and let's actually get back.
Like, that's it, we're going this.
Let's actually get a stick and ball again before.
Meanwhile, let's just say, I'm giving Josh, it's not until July, so you've got plenty of time now. There's notice now. It's not just Thank gosh, I've got 8 months to do.
Yeah, we've got plenty of time
Now
now,
got
which is
plenty of time
perfect.
now, so
No, it's
don't have
good.
an excuse.
It's really good. I honestly think that is a perfect little endpoint for it.
Yeah,
I think that wraps it up and
yeah.
summarizes it. There's a lot of, and this now anybody who's listened all the way through, you will 100% understand why I wanted to get Sammi on with this chat, because there's so many valuable takeaways, and a lot of people will always look at coaches or, things like that, and they'll be like, oh yeah, but it's easy for you. Like, you work from home or you do this or whatever. You're now hearing it from somebody who will work stupid amount of hours in a day, a week, running her own business in a very, very physical job, driving. If you don't know where Redcliffe is from the Gold Coast, it's about 2 hours.
Well, that's traffic. If we know traffic, that's just saying there's no traffic now on Gold Coast or Brisbane. But yeah, 2 hours. Like I said, we start pre-season
One way
tonight.
to drive back and
2
forward.
hours one way. So I want to spend about 3.5 hours on the road, 4 hours.
Commitment, determination. But before we wrap up fully, I have 3 questions I ask everyone.
Okay.
So the first one, are you ready?
Yeah, what is it?
If you could tell your younger self one thing, what would it be?
Oh, I think it's most common sense. Just be kind to yourself. Like, and but yeah, have fun. I guess I wish I told myself that. Just have fun and be kind to yourself. And I think everyone says that. Yeah, I wish I was a lot more kinder to myself and didn't put pressure on myself.
I love that. It's a catch-22 almost, right? Because the pressure that you put on yourself has allowed you to get to the position you're in now.
Yeah.
Without that, you maybe wouldn't be here. But at the same time, you can look back now and be like, you probably could have done it without as much pressure.
As much pressure, yeah. Pretty much just saying that. But yeah, and another thing is just like, yeah, trust the process as well. Whatever things happen for a reason. That's another cliche. If things do happen for a reason, look back and go, okay, now I know why happened because the proof was there. Yeah. So probably that would be the biggest one. It's just trust the process.
I love that. Number 2, favorite animal.
It's got to be a dog. Just dog.
Specifically, any breed.
I love the boxer. They are just so good. But I love animals in general. So yeah, I think any animal, but like a dog for me that's my safe zone. That's just my loyal best mate. Really, they get you through the toughest times because they're always happy, regardless of what mood you're in. They are just fucking happy.
They're just happy to be here.
Happy to be here. Happy to be with you.
You can't be upset when they're around.
Now, even if they chew something or whatever, you're just like, you know what?
Even this little spud right now.
Yeah.
He's sleeping.
Like
He's fucking weird, eh? He's such a weird dog. Number 3, what does strength mean to you?
Ooh. Strength's not what you see on the outside of what you can lift or anything like that. I think strength is in your head, to be honest. That is your strongest mindset that's going to get you through anything, really. It's not about what you lift in the gym or how big and bulky you look. You got a strong mindset, and you're pretty set. Yeah.
Fucking love that.
No fuck attitude, no fuck this, watch this.
Perfect.
No.
Fuck this, watch this. There you go. Well, thank you very much for being here.
No, thank you, Josh. It's been an honor, guys. I hope you enjoyed the chat too. It's been a privilege.
There's fucking so many, like, I know for a fact anybody who listens to this is going to take value from it. So if you have, please, by all means, feel free to share with a friend. Reach out, send a message. People can find you on Instagram.
Yeah, okay, Stone Creek, they want to look at concreting. Or they can just look at me at Putsy.
If you want to look at concreting or you need concreting done, here's your go-to.
Don't ask me to do it now, all right?
Not at Christmas time. But
no.
Otherwise, everybody who has tuned in today and listened, thank you very much for being here. I will catch you on the next one.
Thank you. See you guys.